I think that is problematic is to suggest that, number one, that transgender athletes are the biggest problem in women's sports. And I think this is what's bothersome, is that there's a faction of people in our country that are making this a massive...
You are Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. That is an irresponsible thing to do. You are a coach for a female basketball team. Do you not think that the females are being screwed over if they have to compete against a individual born as a male? What are you talking about?
After bringing Juliet over to the WNBA.
Yeah, would that be fair?
Listen, yes, it would be fair if a team from the WNBA believes that Juliet can help the team. Could he? I should say, I'm going to say he, by the way, because that's exactly what he is. Yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, right now, the WNBA consists primarily of women who have come through the traditional route, which is the WNBA draft.
The WNBA controversy is getting bigger. Cheryl Reeve says she supports inclusion, but now fans are asking a simple question. What happens when inclusion meets competitive fairness?
My views, as I said last week, I come from a space of inclusion.
All right, so right out of the gate, she frames herself as the compassionate one. And we know this is one of the oldest persuasion techniques that there is. Before she answers the question, she defines herself as inclusive, which immediately implies that anyone who disagrees must be coming from a place of exclusion. But here's the problem. The WNBA is an exclusionary league. Women's basketball exists because it excludes males. So inclusion isn't the issue. The issue is who is eligible for the female category.
And the narrative that I think that is problematic is to suggest that, number one, that transgender athletes are the biggest problem in women's sports. And that,
doing what everyone else does, notice that she changes the question. Nobody asked whether this is the biggest problem. That's a straw man. The real question is much simpler. Should males be eligible for women's sports?
The debate isn't just about one player anymore. It's about where women's sports draw the eligibility line and whether the rules are clear enough for everyone.
The reason why so many people, they're trying to take the WNBA seriously, and they can't. Because every day it's another narrative. It's another person pushing an agenda. It's another person trying to combat what another person says. Cheryl Reeves, you are 2 months away from being 60 years old. What the hell is this? Kathy needs to suspend you. This is terrible from you as a coach. You know better. Why are you blowing up something that's already out there? Something that people do not need to be focusing on, but to...
Then came the Julie Tatter discussion. Fans started asking, if a transgender athlete can genuinely help a WNBA team, would a franchise actually sign them?
exclusion is never the answer. Separate isn't equal. And trans lives matter. And so to take away something so valuable that sports brings to young people in particular, and what it does, you know, as I have a youngster and encourage them to be a part of a team and what it gives you in the way of, you know, whether it's teamwork, leadership, you know, competitive, all the things, you know, they have every right to that as well.
Sophie Cunningham has also entered the debate, arguing that women's sports need clear competitive boundaries. Her position has triggered strong reactions from both supporters and critics.
That's what I keep talking about when I say we live in a backwards society. Sophie Cunningham, a WNBA player, one of the most notable WNBA players in the league now, is trying to defend women's rights. And the same women she's trying to defend are attacking her. Because it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. It doesn't matter what you mean by it. All it looks like is you support Trump. And these women have Trump derangement syndrome. They don't understand that you're making women's sports safer and fair so that they don't have to get in the ring and box a man. So they don't have to spend their entire life training to be beaten by a man who wasn't good enough to play in the NBA. Like, so she's doing what she can to protect the sanctity of the sports that she loves. And you guys are attacking her for it. That is the craziest, most backward shit I have ever seen or heard, bro. I've never heard anything like this. So you don't want fair sports for women?
WNBA players work for years to reach the league through college, overseas basketball, and professional competition. That's why eligibility rules matter so much.
This primarily of women who have come through the traditional route, which is the WNBA draft. Only about 15 of the 200 players in the WNBA have come from outside leagues in other countries. So it isn't a common practice. What I don't want the WNBA to do is to go over and say, okay, we will prove what we're saying here and bring them over just because they're trying to silence the critics. That's not the reason to do it, honestly. I mean, you can listen to social media all you want, but that's not if he can truly help a team, certainly go do it. And then everybody would certainly be able to say, all right, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do that right now. So I don't believe it would happen. And even if they wanted to, that's the question. Would they actually do it? I don't believe, ladies, that they would do it because we know what would happen. We know the differences between men and women. And he is
Here's the biggest problem. Fans want clarity. Who is eligible? What standards apply? And who makes the final decision when there's a dispute?
Titard, I think is her name, or his name, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Trans since 2001, 6'3", averaging 20 in France's Liga number 2. I can watch her in 2 minutes and say she would be great in the WNBA, or he would be great, whatever you want to call it. You think they'll ever do that? Think they'll pull the trigger on this woman? Guy?
That can ball, Dan. That can ball. I watched her highlights. That is a bad. Not only did she average 20 points, 20 rebounds. We're talking about a 20-20 guy. I mean, if the WNBA is inclusive, then this French all-star WNBA team has to sign her. And this is why I said I put in a franchise application, Dan. The Nashville Balls, my WNBA team, would be the greatest dynasty of all time. Most inclusive, too. We're only signing men who identify as women. Our slogan is one love, two balls, and we are going to absolutely just dominate.
Some WNBA voices say the league should focus more on basketball. And they have a point. Fans want to see stars, rivalries, records, and great games.
Breaking news, y'all. This right here has to fucking stop. So this trend from France plays basketball against females, which this is a male. Scores about 21 points, 7 rebounds. Pretty good. But now she wants to play with the WNBA. And the crazy thing is that the WNBA coaches are out speaking about men playing the female sport. Like, they are afraid to speak their mind because they know they will get fired. But this is wrong. You cannot allow the man to play in a female sports. They will dominate.
But the controversy isn't disappearing. Inclusion and competitive fairness are both serious issues, and the league needs a policy that addresses both.
I come from a space of inclusion, and the narrative that I think that is problematic is to suggest that, number one, that transgender athletes are the biggest problem in women's sports. And I think this is what's bothersome, is that there's a faction of people in our country that are making this a massive issue. We have some issues. Number one, we need to protect trans kids. Every kid. To me, it's a human rights issue. Every kid has a right to sports, regardless of gender diverse, transgender. Every kid has the right to access. Now, what gets nuanced is, when you're beyond puberty, when you're an Olympic sport, when you have scholarships at stake, and that sort of thing. That's where I say that common sense people get together and you find common ground to find a way to be inclusive. The answer isn't no. It is not the case that we have, quote, biological men in girls' locker rooms. The way it's being phrased, the innuendo there that somehow transgender women are predators of some kind in the locker room. There's a lot of narrative that is probably...
One thing is becoming obvious. Conflicting statements only create more confusion. The WNBA needs rules that players, teams, and fans can clearly understand.
Transgender could potentially play in the WNBA. And why not? A lady named Julie Tetacht, I believe they said she averages 20 and 20 overseas. They asked her a couple of days ago, if the WNBA called, would you join? She said, why not? I wouldn't say no. Let's make it happen. And I'm be honest, I watched her highlights. She doesn't look all that crazy. You know how they say, if a man turns transgender and this and that, she doesn't look like she's way faster or just way stronger. She's nice, obviously 20 and 20, but I would want to see it. If you make that happen, do you know every single arena that's going to be filled out just so people can see what exactly is going to happen? Make it happen, WNBA. Julie Tetacht to the WNBA. Here we.
So what's next? The answer is simple: clarity. Whatever policy the WNBA chooses, it needs to be transparent, consistent, and ready for the next real-world challenge.